welcome to another episode of Girl Meets Brick. Today we are talking about the Muppet minifigures, but I'm also going to talk about minifigures in general and maybe some tips. Even though I know, as we talked about in our last video, that they're going to be going to boxes, I believe, in September. I figured some of these little tips could help in the time being if you want to figure out ways of learning how to find the figures you want in the bag. So we're just going to go over that and some new revelations that I discovered tonight with opening the boxes for the Muppets. So I already had a bit of the Muppet collection. I actually had them all. And then when I was at Legoland, New York, I saw that they had them because they're not easy to find right now. You can still get them on Kohl's. But I think that's really the only place I've seen them where they're not jacked up in the price. But I haven't really checked Amazon, mind you. I know you can't get them on Lego anymore, lego.com. So I had collected some and I went to Legoland and thought I was missing some, so I ended up buying more bags looking for specific characters because I thought I was missing some. Time had passed and I forgot that I had gotten the whole collection, so I ended up with some extras. But now I want some other ones an extra, because a lot of times what I'm going to do is I'll have the collection and then I'm going to use them in displays with like town builds and stuff like that, because I think it will be fun to scatter a bunch of fun characters through a city that we plan on building, which we'll get into more of that in another video. But anyway, so I want you to see what the Muppet ones look like, because you can still get them online if you're interested. I don't know about you, but I'm a huge Muppet fan. Always have been. Grew up on Sesame Street. Absolutely love Jim Henson. I actually cried when I found out he passed away. Just amazing, the puppets that he brings to our world. It's pretty cool. So, huge Muppet fan. I have a couple of books on all about the Muppets, so I definitely had to collect this series. Again, it's got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, the typical 12 in a set. So first we'll kind of go over each one so you can see what they look like. So there's Ralph the dog, of course, who is very musical. He was always the one that played the piano and everything on the Muppet Show, if you remember the Muppet Show. Great show. And then, of course, we had our hacklers, which are these two gentlemen that always like to hackle the acts and make them feel like they weren't doing a very good job. So they brought these guys in. And then here's him. Now, why they brought him with a laptop, I'm not really sure. Maybe in some newer episodes he had a laptop. I don't ever recall him having a little laptop, so that was a little confusing to me why they had him with a laptop. And it was a laptop with Schroeder on it, so maybe they were just trying to get Schroeder into the scene. And of course, there's Gonzo with Camellia. So yep, he has to have his chicken, because we all know he loves chickens, right? Okay. And then we have the band. And then here we have Animal. Who doesn't love Animal? And honestly, I'm running a blank here on her name, forgetting her name. So if you know, you can put it in the comments, because I can't remember her name at the moment. Okay. And then of course you have to have Kermit the Frog with his banjo and his rainbow. You see his little rainbow there? Isn't that cute? So that's Kermit. And then of course the love of his life, Miss Piggy. And wouldn't you know it, she has a picture of herself. Why are we not surprised, right? Okay, and then one of my favorite characters is Beaker. Love Beaker. And then his sidekick, which again, this is another name that's just not coming to me tonight. And then the chef with the heavy accent. Yeah, he's cute too. And then, of course, Fozzie Bear, our comedian. He's got his banana, his microphone. So those are the entire set. So the ones that I'm looking to get extra of is I want to get, I gave Beaker and his buddy to my daughter, but I also gave her the extra chef I had because she's going to culinary school. She's a junior in high school, but she'll be going to culinary school after high school. So I thought she'd like the chef. So I figured, but you know, hopefully I can find another one. And then another one I want to get, I'd like another Gonzo, and I'd like another Ralph the dog, if I can find that. So that's kind of my goal, and I may have to get a few more because I don't think I found those tonight. So, a couple of interesting revelations since the last time I filmed was, as I told you before, somebody put on a blog that these don't have duplicates in it. That is not true. Okay, so I want to make that really clear. It is not true. These do not have duplicates. I just opened all these boxes brand new. This one had 2 animals in it. An animal is really easy to figure out, and I'll go over that in a minute. And then this one also had 2 animals in it. This one had 2 duplicates. No, this one's not the one. This one had 2 Miss Piggies in it. Okay, and then this one had 2 Miss Piggies and 2 of Beaker's buddy here, which I can't remember his name. So it had 2 duplicates. So basically you would end up with 2 duplicates in this one box of 6. So this is kind of concerning because if we were going to use this theory in trying to get the minifigures as little duplicates as possible once they start cardboard boxes and they sell packs of 6 like this, that's not going to work. So now we know that. So I don't know where they heard there was no duplicates, but clearly these were all taped shut, and everyone had a duplicate. I guess that one box that I opened up first, when I first started buying these boxes that had no duplicates, was unusual. So, you know, I got lucky, I guess. But anyway, so now we know there are duplicates in those boxes. So the one thing I wanted to go over is how you could figure out what's in each bag, you know, while you're at the store. If you want to try this, you know, I find that most people don't mind when you do it. I only got yelled at by a Walmart employee because she thought I was opening them, and I was not. And I even showed it to her. I said, I'm not opening them. I'm just, you know, checking the bags to see if I can figure out what's in it. But and then she was chewing me out, like, and I showed her the bag. I said, see, it's not open. And then she was embarrassed because I didn't open it. I was just feeling around the bag. There's nothing wrong with touching the product. So, in most places, they don't care. But I think she was just being annoying. But anyway, so what I try to do whenever I have a series, if I don't have the series yet, the little piece of paper that comes with it, I just look it up online. So I look up the collection online. And what you want to do is you want to find distinctive parts. And that's what you fill for, not something that's typical. Like, you know, a minifigure head, they all have them. So you're not going to be able to tell which is which from that. Torso, legs, you can't figure any of that out from that. So you've got to find a really unique piece that you know is not included in any of the other figures in that series. So for Ralph the dog, a good one would be the torso of Beethoven here, because it's very unique and you should be able to feel that in the bag, and that's how I can figure out it's Ralph. His ears are a good one too, but a little bit harder to feel in a bag. I find that something like this is a lot more distinctive shape. So again, you know, feeling that in the bag. And also this flat piece, you can feel the grooves in it when you're feeling around in the bag. So that would be good for Ralph. This guy is a little bit harder, but he does have a pretty round head. He does feel very similar to some of the other ones. You have to be careful. So I try to see if there are flat pieces in there or the cup, and that helps you find him. And then this one's pretty easy because of the laptop. You can usually feel where the laptop clicks in together. So that one isn't too bad to really find. Gonzo would be really easy because he's got that unique nose of his. His little snout would be so easy to feel. Plus the chicken too. So very distinctive to that one. And then for her, the guitar. you could easily feel that. It's different than the banjo that Kermit has, so you can easily fill that out. Plus she's got the long hair, smooth top of the head. Those are some things you can feel for her. And then he's the easiest one to figure out because he's got the round drums. So super easy. Plus he's got a big head. So he's really easy to find. And this was one of the more popular ones. When you go digging, you find a lot of him. Kermit, best thing to do is search for that banjo or the rainbow. You could probably get it with his head, but I would suggest if you feel that you verify there's a banjo or a rainbow in there too. Okay, Miss Piggy was super easy because she's the only one that has the little pointy ears. You can kind of feel in between and tell that that's her, because even Fozzie's different because he's got a hat on. So she's very distinctive because of her pointy ears. Beaker, long skinny head. You don't see too many like that. There's no other ones with that. He's got the little roughness to the top of his head, and then the pieces of his radio is also another dead giveaway for him. Okay. And then the thing that helps me with him, because he's very similar to this guy, because he's got the round head as well. Believe it or not, when you're feeling it in a bag, they feel very similar. So what I look for to make sure it's him is this beaker, because that's very distinctive. And then this guy is really easy because his hat is attached to his head. And you can also feel for that too. So he's pretty easy to find. But he's rare though. That's the problem with him. And then Fozzie, I look for the stick of his microphone. You see that right there? That's what I look for, is the stick, the banana. Those are all good ones to find Fozzie. All right, so those are some tips of what I do. I find, again, unique pieces you're not going to find in the other minifigures that are in that series. So let's see if I'm right. So I believe this is Ralph the dog, and the reason I believe it was Ralph the dog is because I felt Beethoven's torso piece. So let's see if I'm right. And I am. Perfect. So I'm going to put him together real quick, and then we'll go on to the next one. So these will be sold at my shop. You can find them here and there at different toy stores. Sometimes Lego stores have them left still. I do know that Kohl's has them still as well. If you're interested in this series and haven't started collecting, it's not the end yet. And actually, let me go on real quick and see if I can turn my computer on and see if Amazon has them. Because they just might. Let me look. Amazon. Yeah, so really at this point on Amazon, they're available, but they are individually priced. You know which one you're buying, so it's at this point of having sellers only that have them. They have the unopened packs and the 6-pack box, but there's no prices listed for those. So again, it is a retired series, but you can find them. And like I said, Kohl's or check around local toy stores that normally carry Lego. They might still have some in stock. I know the Lego store, when we went to Legoland in the fall, they still had quite a few boxes of the Muppet ones. So it's not the end of the world. You can still find it. So there we have Ralph. So now I have 2 Ralphs. I'm happy about that. All right, next one I believe is Beaker, which is my favorite, and I really want an extra of him because I want to put him on my computer because I love Beaker. He's always been one of my favorite characters. And yes, it is Beaker. Here is his head. Me, 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 me. He always did that. He was pretty goofy. All right. Who doesn't like Beaker? So this guy, I actually might find one more of these because I want one in my city, but I also would like to have him on my desk. and then have them in my collection. So I may have to, I'm pretty sure there was a beaker in one of these and I didn't think to put another one out right now, but I can go back and do that later. All right. Because he's going to go on my desk for sure. I love him. He's so fun. Okay, so far. All right, the next one I think I got is Fozzie. And again, with him, it was his microphone stand that gave him away. And look at that, it's Fozzie Bear. So that's cool. Alright. So we're going to put him together real quick. Maybe, you know, when I get my city together, we can have him on a stage in like the amusement park and have him doing a show. His jokes. I think that would be kind of fun. Alright. He's got his banana too, because, you know, he's got to have bananas thrown at him, I guess. Something like that. So what I did to attach Fozzie Bear to this is I just took the single round, what I like to call button pieces, because they kind of look like buttons. But you have a ton of them whenever you build Lego. They always give you extras of those. So just take one of those, which they don't give you, and I put it on the bottom, and that lifts it up so you can actually, this is the way you can display it. So as you can see, I put it on there, as you can see right there, and then now his microphone is right next to him on the stand. Alright, and then we'll give him his banana. There we go. So now I have two Fozzies. Now the other thing I'll be sharing at some point down the road is how I'm displaying my collection. I found a really cool way to do it that I really like. When you do the series, it works perfect. So stay tuned in the next month or so, and I'll be doing a video about that as well, of how to display your collectible minifigures. Alright, so this one I have down as animal, even though I have two. My son wanted an animal, and animal it is. Animal it is. So this one's a little bit more to building it. And then if you need help with this one, the nice thing is, here's your little paper. You can just open it up. And it'll tell you how to put in. There's not too many that you need really the directions for. But, you know, there's Animal, Fozzie, and one of the hecklers with his laptop. Those are really the only three that you may need help. I think the animal is probably the most complicated. I mean, I wouldn't call it complicated, but just more to it. And I find it helpful just to have it in front of me so I can look at it when I'm putting it together. Because you're putting together the drum set. So we'll put the drum set together. And then this has got... It's a really fun drum set. Who doesn't love Animal, right? We all love Animal. He's awesome. Animal is definitely awesome. I was like, what? They included wands? But they're not wands. They're his drumsticks. But I have looked at a lot of these over the last couple months doing all my Harry Potter sets. So I definitely recognize wands. But anyway, that's what's great about Lego is they do reuse parts that they typically had made for something else, and then they end up making something else unique out of it in another set, which is really, really kind of cool. Alright. I guess it'd be nice if we put his head on. Animal. Then we'll give him his sticks, because Animal is not Animal without his drums, right? Crazy Animal. Alright. And you know, it's like, it's really not really hard to, you know, go in and feel some bags and figure out what you're looking for. It might take a little time sometimes. Sometimes my kids, I think, get impatient because it's taking me so long to buy minifigures because I'm checking the bags out so I don't get too many duplicates. So your kids might not like it, but I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway because it saves you money too. I mean, who wants to keep buying, you know, and getting the same minifigure and ending up with 12 of the same thing? And not to mention that gets expensive. So, you know, hopefully until they change the way they're packaging. I mean, who knows? Maybe if enough people protest, they won't change it, but I wouldn't count on that. But for now, you have an option if you can get to the store and actually feel them. The problem I've been having lately is not a lot of my local stores have been carrying them as much lately. And so that's why I've been going online and buying these 6-packs because, you know, I'm not able to get them in the store. And my closest actual Lego store is in Albany, which I'm thankful because that just opened a couple years ago. We didn't have one any closer. And Albany, New York's 2 hours from me. So that's the closest Lego store. We're actually going to Quebec City for vacation, and there's one up there too. But so anyway, I hope these tips have helped and you've enjoyed watching the video, and maybe you're a little excited about the Muppet series and maybe consider going online and buying a few. They're definitely fun, especially if you're a Muppet fan. So until next time, happy building, and thanks for watching our video. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And again, thank you for visiting Girl Meets Brick. Have a nice night. A couple things I forgot to talk about, or really mainly one thing, is that I did not find the extra shelf I wanted. So I found that that's been one of the most difficult ones to find, is the chef. So that's kind of a bummer that I didn't find the chef. And I also did not find another Gonzo. And I think these have been more rare. The ones that you're going to find a lot of, I'm finding, is Beaker's Buddy. There's a lot of those. A lot of animals. A lot of Miss Piggies. And a lot of these two, the 2 hecklers. You're going to find a lot of those. There's a lot in the series. But anyway, they're still pretty cool though, you know, but there are some more elusive than others. So just keep that in mind when you're looking. All right. Again, thank you for watching Girl Meets Brick. Like and share if you enjoyed this video. And we'll see you next time.